I have previously copied up files and logged in to my OneDrive account. And here are those files and folders. A lot of people don't realize that SharePoint under your Microsoft 365 account is just OneDrive as the back end and a website as the front end. Now, you can certainly customize that SharePoint website if you'd like, and most people do. But let's take a look at how we can access our OneDrive files using SharePoint. So I'm going to go to a new tab and type in sharepoint.microsoft.com. Previously, a lot of organizations had SharePoint on a local server, but Microsoft is moving away from that and just using SharePoint in the cloud, although not everyone has migrated off of that older system. So this is the first time I'm accessing SharePoint, so you're going to see this particular message that comes up that gives you some helpful information. And once you're all done, then you can go ahead and close that. Let's move in to our SharePoint site. You can see that by default it created what's called an all-company site, which doesn't have a lot of customization to it, and you can certainly go in and edit this site or create a brand new one. I'm going to click on the left-hand side where it shows My Files. And there's a list of all those files, including the This is a Test file that was previously created. So we know that we can access our OneDrive files from the SharePoint site. I'm going to go to the SharePoint Start page. Let's create a brand new site. We have a couple of different types of sites that we can create now. The first one is a team site. This is a private space to collaborate with your team. This is really an internal type of SharePoint site. And don't confuse it with Microsoft Teams because that's not what it is. This is basically an organization that's internal type of team site. Now, if you want to have this available to people outside your organization as well, then you would create what's called a communication site. I'm going to go ahead and choose that. Look at all these different templates that I can use. And I can choose based on different types of verticals, such as human resources, leadership, volunteering, and others. Let's create a volunteer center site. By default, you're going to see all of these particular graphics and buttons and links and things like that based on the template, but it's expected that you'll probably go in and make some changes. So what I did was I'm creating a blood donor site, and you see the description is I'm letting the community know when we're having a blood drive. It automatically created this URL that we can access from not only inside organization, but outside as well. So it's going to be my techpubhub.sharepoint.com/sites, but whatever it is I put in at the site name, it combines the words together because you can't have spaces in the URL, and then that is going to be my site. So I'll click Next, choose a language, and create the site. Now I have my site template all created, but it's not necessarily the way I want it. So I can go in and choose to edit. And it brings up this edit page where I can go ahead and say make changes to the picture, make changes to the volunteer area under quick links, and anything else that you see here. I also have this co-auth in real time where I can invite others to edit at the same time that I'm making changes. I'm going to close that because I don't really need it, but here you can see various different things that I can go in and make changes to. I can add a link and link it to a volunteer center, for instance. Here I can go ahead and enter more information. And in this case, what I did was I just clicked on the link to make it go right back to the home page. But of course, you're probably going to want to create a new page for that. I can also add a custom image or go to the library and do a search for a new image. And there's many more changes I can do. However, this particular video tutorial and course is not necessarily about how to become a web designer. It's more about how it is that we use these Microsoft 365 applications. I'm going to go back to my home page, which is my SharePoint Microsoft 365 homepage. And on the left-hand side, I can click on My Sites, and it shows me the different sites that I've created. Here you can see the activity that's been happening in the site. If I'd like, I can add a news link, which brings me to some news templates. And I can choose, for instance, the monthly news update. And you can see description, share important company news, use images and video. So you still have to provide your own information, but it's just going to use the template for this particular news link. And here I can share this with others. I can post and send, or I can make changes to what we see here. Of course, you're going to want to customize it to have the news that you would like to show. I've gone back to my All Company page and take a look under New. You have the option to go in and create web versions of various different applications, such as my Word document. And this is really helpful in case I am on a computer that doesn't have the applications installed, such as, say, a tablet, for instance, and I'd like to create a new Word document without Word being installed on my computer or my tablet. So I can go ahead and do that through the web version, and I even have Copilot because I have a license for Copilot. I can use Copilot to help me create a new document or edit or summarize a document that's already been created. And it will once again save it inside OneDrive. And as you can see here, we even have the option to have the dictation feature turned on. SharePoint has a lot of features, and it can take a lot of time to master all the different options. However, if you do create a SharePoint site based on your OneDrive or the company's OneDrive, it makes it very easy to share documents between the different users in your organization, or you can choose the communication site, as I have done, where you can share information with the public.